Students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Did you all submit your assignment, students? Assignment is done. How many questions were asked?
4.
4. Did you all finish and upload it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Did you
Yes,
turn
ma'am.
in the assignment? Did you turn in the assignment? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it was comfortable writing 3 or 4 questions. Am I correct? Instead of writing huge 10 questions, it was pretty good. Writing 3 or 4 questions would be compatible for you also. Am I correct? Okay, fine. No answer. So let us go back to the session. What was the last class discussion? Hope you remember. Yes, can you please tell me what is the last class discussion? Yes, students. Now at least.
Reinforcing material.
Yes, it was all about the reinforcing materials. Which module we are talking under? Which module we are under discussion?
Module 3.
Yes, module 3 as alternative building materials. Correct. This is the last year. I mean, the same syllabus, 17 scheme syllabus is a similar syllabus what you have. So there is no change. Now, why we are thinking about alternative materials, students? In one simple word, you answer. Why we are looking for alternative material, building material? Yes, students, why we are looking for alternative building materials? What the
Depletion of existing
Yes, tell me, repeat.
due to the depletion of existing materials.
Yes, depletion of the existing materials or the natural resources. The natural resources are getting exhausted. Am I correct? So it is a depletion. What is happening nowadays? To overcome that, we are looking for an alternate material. So in the previous class discussion, we were talking about the binder. So cement is a good binder. What was the replacing material we were talking about? We were talking
Lime,
about
ma'am.
lime, right? So cement can be replaced with a lime. So lime as a natural material, where it is available from? Lime is made available from which material? Lime is produced from where? Which is the source of lime? Lime source is limestone. You have to do extraction, correct? You have to pulverize it, then you have to slake it. Slaking, what is the slaking process? Slaking means what? You have to crush the lime obtained from the limestone into a big pieces. Then you have to spread it on the sheet and hydrate it with water. Hydration is hydrate with water. You have to sprinkle some amount of water, which will get slaked. The lime will get slaked. There will be some chemical reaction taking place between the carbon dioxide, lime and water, which is possible to extract the pure lime. Hydraulic lime will be extracted out of it after further process. Okay, as initial we will be getting a slaked lime. So along with lime, what is the possible material which we can add on? Along with lime, what is the possible material which we can add on? Yes.
Fly ash rices.
Yes, what are they called as? What are they called as?
Alternate materials.
Better word? Better word? Pozzolana materials. They are the pozzolana materials, isn't it? That along with the lime, we'll include pozzolana material. To further improve the strength, what material you may add as additives? As additives, what materials you may add?
Spices.
Riscus is a pozzolana again. What other materials?
Gypsum.
Gypsum, very good. What gypsum will do? What gypsum will do? It will retard the setting time. It will retard the setting time of the mortar. We were talking about the mortar, isn't it? What is a mortar? What is the function of a mortar? What is the function of the mortar, students? What's the function of the mortar? What does mortar do? It will bind two blocks. Yes, very good. It will bind the units. It will bind the masonry units, isn't it? So you'll add additives as a gypsum. You may add additive as a many other additives. You whatever you find, may find as slag, or you may find as what you say, GGBS, and all that you may start adding. So once you start adding, your cement water ratio or binder water cement ratio may increase, isn't it? Which was somewhere around 0.3, 0.23, it may go to 0.6. So to overcome that increase in percentage of water, what I should add to decrease that? To decrease the water content within the mortar mix, what I should add? Plasticizer. I should add plasticizer. Plasticizer. It will improve the workability of the mix, isn't it? So that was all this content will constitute what? What does it contribute to the mortar? It will contribute to the matrix. As a matrix, it will contribute. Okay, if you think about RCC, you may think of what do you say? RCC as a cement concrete itself as a matrix, and reinforcement is itself is one of the matrix. So today our discussion will be about the reinforcement, because in the last class also we took some small discussion about it. So we are looking for different types of fibers, naturally available fibers or synthesized fibers. So fibers basically depends upon the aspect ratio. I'll write the spelling aspect ratio. Aspect, I think you have heard about this word aspect ratio, correct? Yes or no, students? Huh? Yes or no? Aspect ratio. Okay, tell me about slenderness ratio.
Length by dia.
Yes,
Height.
Yes, height. It is nothing but column. For a column, you will be referring, isn't it? Correct. Your height of the column to the least dimension of the column. Correct. If it is a rectangular, you will take the least dimension, whether you will be taking the breadth or the depth. What is aspect ratio of the fiber? Fiber on the similar lines. Fiber, what does the fiber has? It has length and it has the diameter. So what is the aspect ratio? L by D.
L by D.
So this aspect ratio in your research work, if you are using these materials, the high scope is involved in the aspect ratio. You may say that, ma'am, I've used the concrete or the mortar in the way what we have discussed all about, and further to increase the tensile strength, isn't it? Fibers are why do we introduce fibers? To increase the tensile strength, right? To increase the tensile strength, I may add metallic fiber or a polymeric fiber or a mineral fiber or a natural fiber. But on what basis do you add, students? Because each fiber may have different length, correct? Fiber may vary different length, different diameter. One may be thin, one may be thick, and all that. So to define all that, we have to call it as an aspect ratio. So your research may define, if you are taking a metallic fiber which is available in market, if you can purchase it on online or whatever, you can go to a shop also. You may ask, the aspect ratio of that metallic fiber ranging from 0.3 or whatever it is, 0.3 or 0.35, or you can keep on range, and just take those metallic fibers, pour it into a concrete and check the strength. For varying strength, for example, I'm telling this, for varying strength, for example, I get an aspect ratio. Aspect ratio, did you understand, students? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. For an aspect ratio, now I'll take in particular. In particular, I'm doing some research. You are doing a research in the laboratory, and I want the color change. You are doing the research in the laboratory, and you'll use metallic fibers, and you may use for different aspect ratio. Let me tell, for after your calculation of aspect ratio, you get a values of 0.2, 0.25, 0.3, 0.35, and so on. Okay, you'll be calculating from market. You'll get metallic fibers of these aspect ratios. Then using your concrete cubes testing, you're done, no students, in the laboratory. 150 by 150 by 150, you're done. Cube testing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So you will start getting the graph now. Using your compression testing machine, you remember where is the compression testing machine located in the laboratory? Where it is located, students? Compression testing machine. Which lab it is located? ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಿಷಿನ್?
BMT lab.
BMT ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು
Concrete lab.
ಕಾಂಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್, ಅಥವಾ ಅದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಆಚೆ ಕಡೆ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, asbestos sheet roofing ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು. So you may, for example, I may say this is 1.2, this is 1.5 or 1.8, then 2.1, then 2. Something like that. I'll keep on giving the values of in megapascal. Okay, then you'll start the loading testing of each cubes, each blocks of 150 by 150 by 150. Remember your cube size of 150. Then you'll start first mix having 0.2 of aspect ratio may get some 1.2, right? Aspect ratio of 0.25 may give you something low value or even equal. 0.3 you may get something like this. With aspect ratio 0.35 you may get like this. Then you may get 0.4, you may get like this. Then it may start decreasing. It may start decreasing. When you join all this line, students, you will get a graph. This graph will tell you that aspect ratio of this metallic fiber is giving a very good strength at this point of L by D ratio. Did you get my point? Similarly, you can do it for polymeric fibers, mineral fibers, and natural fibers. You can readily think of doing a project on these. You have a project problem available in this for your 8th semester I'm talking about. Okay, students. So now with this, you understood what I'm talking about? Did you follow what I'm telling? So I can make a calculation and determine the strength for varying L by D ratios of metallic fibers or polymeric fibers or mineral fibers or natural fibers. You may ask, ma'am, where it is available? It is all available in the market. Got it, students? Did you get my point? Yes or no? Yes. Yes. Okay. Now further to come, to start with, we are talking about, in order to effective in concrete matrix, the fiber must have the following properties. Tensile strength. Definitely when I use fibers, I'll increase the tensile strength. You may ask, ma'am, hey, tensile strength improve agutte? See what happens. For example, you find this 150 by 150 cube. Adidya picture in mind al idya ado cube. You have that picture in your mind. Cube is there in your mind. Somebody is there in the, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
You have that in mind. Okay. Now without Usually you don't put any reinforcement for the concrete cube, correct? You just pour the concrete and test it, correct? Yes or no? And how does this fail? Students, if you remember, how does this fail? Fails in compression is your answer. But how does that fail? I'll tell you, it will fail in shear. It will fail in shear. It will go like this. The corners will fail like this. You can see the corners will spall out. It will get spalling out. Okay. This is the type of failure you may find. Suppose if I have the same block 150 by 150 by 150, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ? So I'll cast this cube. Okay. Now I'll use this concrete. Along with that, I'll use one of the mineral fiber or polymeric fiber. I'll put some other color and take this and insert some metallic fibers. Then what happens? You may find that the crack which was originating in the form of a shear may continue to originate, but it may not propagate. Propagate to originate. Originate may start originating, but may not propagate. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? I'll take this surface. I'll take this surface here. You're following, students, what I'm talking. When I start testing, this crack will not continue. This crack will not continue to meet completely like this. It will stop at this point. What will happen? There may be a fiber. There may be a fiber coming in between. It is stopping this crack to continue. This fiber may stop to continue the crack. Got my point? Artha aita illa?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So that is the reason. Therefore, this shear is not happening. Even you find some cracks developing here also at later end after shear. Even these cracks will stop growing. Propagation means growing. All because these fibers are stopping them to propagate, stopping them to continue. So therefore, tensile strength significantly higher than that of concrete. Absolutely correct. Now trend is very high, students. Yesterday only I was telling in doing PhD in civil engineering, like you should have very great idea of depth of knowledge, because people are doing at hook and corner. Wherever they find the scope of research, they start doing it immediately. So you should also quickly analyze something and do like that. Okay. Bond strength will with concrete matrix perfect, preferably of same order or higher than the tensile strength of the matrix. Bond strength. Students, do you know how do you measure the bond strength of the concrete? Bond strength. How do you measure the bond strength? How do you measure the bond? Yes? Tell me, I'll correct you. Bond strength. How do you check the bond strength? Tell me, students, please. Bond strength. You have in specific as bond strength test. As bond strength test. Bond strength test. For this, you have a machine, not a separate machine. You have your UTM machine itself. UTM machine itself is a bond strength machine, test machine to demonstrate. I'll take another 1 minute to explain this. I'll take one separate sheet, students. 1 second. Please wait. I'll take this working sheet. Sorry. Yes, students. Yeah, coming back. I was talking about the bond strength test. Bond strength. Did I tell you about this bond strength test earlier anytime? Yes, we conduct on UTM. The specimen is this way. For concrete only I'm telling students, you have concrete here, pure concrete, not reinforced, pure concrete, right? And here you should make a dent. You should make a dent. I'll use some other color. This is a dent. You'll be doing a dent here during casting only, and you have a reinforcement. If you are using for your casting purpose as 10 mm or 12 mm or whatever the mm of the diameter, reinforcement diameter, you have to insert this completely into the concrete. Then you have to seal it. Then you have to seal it completely. You have to seal it. Correct? That procedure is there in ASTM code. In ASTM code. ASTM code book, you have this bond strength, evaluating or determining the test method. Got it? You're getting my picture, students? This is 150 by 150 by 150 mm size. Do you follow this?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you have to put this in see UTM machine. UTM machine, what does it has? The upper crosshead and the lower crosshead. You have to fix it. This is lower crosshead and this is upper crosshead. This is upper crosshead. Crosshead. And then I'll change this color. Then you have to fix this concrete cube here, right, with that reinforced bar running here. You have accessories, grips. You should have grips here. Grips should be fixed. Then you have to apply. What type of load you will be applying, students? What type of load you will be applying in UTM machine? Yes, tell me. Correct.
Compression.
Compression. If you apply compression, this will move towards bond strength. I want to check. I want to check the bond strength between the reinforcement and concrete. So to check the bond strength, what I should do? Which load, what load I should apply? I should apply tension, tensile load. To apply tensile load, how it should move? The cross head should move away. The cross head should move away. At one point, there is a slip. Slip will take place. Slip will take place. Jerk will take place. That jerk is noted. The jerk point or a slip. Load value, slip value will be noted and that will be recorded. That is a bond strength value. That is a bond strength value. Hope you get some picture, some idea behind what is bond strength, because this is very, very, very important, student, of a concrete, how to determine the bond strength between the reinforcement and concrete. One should know all about this. Okay. Further, you can run some videos available in YouTube or other channels. You can look into it for your general knowledge. Okay, that is what being told here. Bond strength has to be effective. Young's modulus in tension and significantly should be higher than the concrete. Definitely, Young's modulus in tension will increase. How? Because the fibers what I'll be using is only for the tensile strength to increase. And Poisson's ratio and the coefficient of thermal expansion preferably of the same order of the matrix. Definitely, even when I'm adding the fibers, students, definitely tensile strength, bond strength, Young's modulus, Poisson's ratio, thermal expansion, all these parameters will increase automatically without any hindrance. Okay. Now, one by one, we'll study about metallic fibers. What is metallic fibers? What does it constitutes? Okay. Metallic fiber made up of carbon steel or stainless steel, very purely stainless, very costly. This is costly, but it is available. The tensile strength ranges from 349 MPa to 1380. Can you think that it can be tested in our laboratory? No, these fibers have been manufactured at the standard level and been tested. And Young's modulus of a steel, it remains the same. It is, yes, Young's modulus of steel. The fibers may be circular, rectangular, or crescent shape or irregular. Most of the steel fibers are round in cross section with a diameter ranging from 0.4 to 0.8 mm. This is what I said you students, aspect ratio. And the length ranging from 25 to 60 mm. See, check on your scale. Where is 25 mm and 60 mm on your scale, students? Students? Where is 4 mm? 0.4 mm on your scale? Where is 0.8 mm on your scale? Where is 25 mm on your scale? Where is 60 mm on your scale? Now tell me on your calculator, calculate the aspect ratio of 0.25 mm by 0.4. What is the value you get?
62.5.
62.5.
62.5 is the aspect ratio. If I say that 60 divided by 0.8, this is the maximum limits. What is the value of aspect ratio?
75.
75. So you find this aspect ratio. In a word, I can write aspect ratio is ranging from 62.5 to 75 value. It is dimensionless, it's a ratio. So you can see here the aspect ratio is generally less than 100. It is not crossing 100 with a common range of 40 to 80. The below figure shows some of the fibers shown in the diagram. I can go back to the diagram here, show you here. These are the fibers which are available. This is magnified images. Okay, students, these are all the steel fibers. These are all the steel fibers used in reinforced concrete. So something having some metals having rectangular cross section, circular cross section with a what do we say, corrugated shape outside, corrugated shape inside, right? But having a circular dimension or a rectangular dimension. This is wavelength dimensions. This is a wedge shape dimension, wedge shape. This is a cross section, eye cross section. This is a oval shape, or this is a wedge shape. Again, I can call it as a wedge shape. Usually we don't find this type of fibers because little difficulty in production, whereas these are in regular production. This is a regular in production. Even you find this corrugated, you find little difficult to find this type of zigzag or haphazard dimensions. Rectangular, circular and wedge shape is more commonly available. So these types of fibers are available. So think of your project doing something like this on this, so that you can also take it for your MTech degree or for your PhD degree also. It is not that nobody can reach your highest qualification. You can reach to the maximum qualification. So they are all rounded and steel fibers. In order to bond strength, the fibers have been intended. They are dense, means some wave patterns are existing. Crimped, hooked at the ends, enlarged at the ends. Fibers are produced from wires that have been shaved down in the steel wool making process, and such fibers have a crescent shaped cross section. That means it's a byproduct. They have been shaved down in the steel wool making. Sometimes it can be a waste product or purposely it is being manufactured. Fibers having irregular surface with crescented shaped cross section. That is what I said you here. It will have some wavy cross sections. Not cross section, wavy sections. They are having a wavy sections like this. So these are the different types of cross sections which are available in market. Now moving on to that is all about the metallic fibers. So metallic fibers remains with the reinforced concretes. But aspect ratio varies from 40 to 80 or 40 to 100 also. Coming to the polymeric fibers. You're understanding, you're following students, or you're quiet in the last hour? Very quiet in the last hour. Yes, you're alert there in the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Or something,
Yes,
some
ma'am.
music is going on, like you hear that. What do you say? You're all alert. I find the regular voices are coming up. I don't find some new voice. I'm waiting for some new voice to come out. Yes, very good about the regular voices. Very good energy they have. Very good. But equally, other students also should participate. It's not that you're not there in the class. You're also there in the class. Correct? You have to participate. So because after 1 year you are all engineers, you should know how to communicate with each other. When you learn something, same thing while interacting, it will help you a lot, students. If you interact in the class, that is more than enough. Okay, fine. To continue, we'll go with the polymeric fibers. Polymeric fibers are the products of petrochemical and textile industries. So there have been textile industries. The fibers have been explored to use in cement-based matrices like acrylic, aramide, nylon, polyester, polyethylene, polypropylene. Polypropylene is most very commonly available, and our MTech students are using this as polymeric fiber only. Polypropylene, you can order it on Amazon or whatever it is. You have so many things they deliver at home, and you can use it. Even though these fibers are reasonably high strength, high tensile strength, because and having a polymeric fibers means it is a little plastic bound, high tensile strength, and modulus of elasticity of most of them is quite low, except aramid. Aramid is a different material because it is having a good tensile property, but rest all it is very low elastic modulus. Your Young's modulus is very low because of plastic. Polypropylene is a plastic material. Fibers that contains at least 85% by weight of acrylonitrile are classified as acrylic fibers. So depending upon the production and the constituents of the fibers, we have different definitions. Nylon was one of the first polymer fibers to be included in the cement-based matrices. So nylons are also being used for the production of the cement-based matrices. That is nothing. Matrices is nothing but your constituents: cement, fine aggregate, coarse aggregate, and all that. When used in small volumes, that is 1%, it has been found to reduce the flexural strength of the composite. How, students? 1%. If I have a nylon or any other material, if I have this material, what I'll be doing? I have a cement weight of weight of 20 kg of cement. If I'm using, I may use 1% of 20 kg of cement, 1% of nylon or any polymeric fiber to the mix. So 20 kg divided by 100, whatever the amount of grams you may get, you'll be using that quantity into the concrete mix. It will be a huge volume because these fibers are having a low density, so it requires more amount of nylon materials. Okay, so only 1% is very small. You may ask, ma'am, 1% is very small. Usually you had 10% and 20%, but these fibers are having a low density. The volume of this will be very huge. Too much of your volume you get, even 1%. For example, I say 1% of 20 kg, how much it will become? 1 divided by 100. Tell me how much it will become. Tell me. 1 into, I'll convert into grams, divided by 100. Tell me now. So I require 200 grams of, correct? Yes or no?
Sir.
So I require 200 grams of this fiber to be used in the mix, in the concrete mix. Compared with other polymeric fibers, aramid fibers have higher tensile strength. That is what I mentioned here. Aramid fibers and modulus of elasticity, and hence they have enhanced mechanical strength like tensile and bending strength. Bending is nothing but bonding only. Bending or bonding or flexure. All the same. The primary limitation of their use in concrete is high cost compared to other fibers. This aramid, it is very difficult, very costly to purchase. So otherwise it is very good at the mechanical strength. But aramid fiber, I'm not sure the availability of aramid fiber. Okay. Moving further down, we find mineral fibers. Glass fibers are predominantly used for mineral fibers. Glass fibers are silica-based glass compounds that contain several metallic oxides which can be tailored to manufacture different types of glasses. The major disadvantage, I tell you students, major disadvantage of this, what it could be? Mineral fiber as a glass fiber if I'm using. This glass fiber, when you touch, you may not sense that it has cut your skin and entered your body. You'll not be knowing it. You'll be unnoticed. It is that danger. You'll be not feeling that it has pierced your skin. It is such a dangerous material as a glass fiber. Glass fiber, it will pierce to your skin. So we really avoid such material, or when we are using, we'll be very careful to use gloves, hand gloves, and take a high precautions, very high precautions. These fibers relatively have high tensile strength and modulus of elasticity compared to polymeric fibers. Furthermore, they are quite economical. Yes, because they cut our skin and hence are most commonly used for fibers for structural applications. Because of its silica content, glass is nothing but silica content. For in initial stages, borosilicate glass fibers and soda lime silica glass fibers were employed to reinforce cement-based composites. These are the different types of glass fibers which are available. Since both E and A glass fibers were found to lose their strength property in the alkaline environment, that is greater than 7. Value of acidity is less than 7, greater than 7 it is alkaline, that is base. It will lose its strength, right? The need for alkaline resistant fiber resulted in the development of alkaline resistant glass, AR glass. So of all this research, they found that when it is losing its strength, it is yielding a very good result. They have done one more research to go for a alkaline resistant glass as AR glass, which is giving a very good strength in the alkaline nature also. So this is all about minerals fibers. Any doubt, students? You are very silent there in the class. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Now,
No.
next, what was the
No,
three
ma'am.
fibers? What are the three fibers we were discussing? What are the three fibers? Yes. Metallic fibers, polymeric fibers, mineral fibers. Now we have to move on to the natural fibers. So natural fibers, lot of scope is there, student. I just forgot to WhatsApp you that one of the latest latest journal paper which is being released, the concrete testing using hair. Concrete test using our natural hair. They have used this hair as a tensile strength property. It will have a greater strength, correct? To arrest or to increase the tensile strength. Since in many parts of the world, man-made fibers like steel or polymer fibers are not available, attempts have been made to extract from the cement plants to make it in a composite, cement-based composites. An unique aspect of these fiber is the low energy needed for their extraction. Correct, na? Hair doesn't require, it is as it is available, does not require any energy to extract. A major problem in the use of these fibers in cement or concrete mix is that they disintegrate in the alkaline environment. Yes, they don't have resistance towards the alkaline environment, and hence durability, very, very important, students. This durability, I'll change this color. This durability is very, very important. Durability of the composite will decrease. Alkaline, when these fibers, they get damaged in alkaline material, because cement is an alkaline material. When alkaline material, along with the alkaline material, you are blending with a natural fiber, what happens? It will corrugate. I mean, it will get corroded. Correct? So the durability will not exist for a long time. Since these fibers are economical, attempts have been made to overcome the problem of durability by using admixtures. Using admixtures is to reduce the alkalinity or protecting these fibers from the reaction. So what did they use? They used admixtures. They used number of admixtures are available. So they have used those materials to overcome the alkalinity. Basic in nature, right? Concrete is basic in nature. It can react. Some of the natural fibers used in Portland cement composites are aquara, bamboo, coconut coir, jute, sisal, sugarcane, bagasse ash, wool, elephant grass. Even though these fibers are sufficiently strong in tension, their modulus of elasticity is very, 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 very low. This is very important. Yes or no? Young's modulus is very low. Even though they are in like having a very strong, like it cannot be, even though these strong in tension, they can expand, having a good deflection. It can expand to a greater tension load, but Young's modulus is very, very, very low. Aquara fiber is extracted from vegetable plant stem, which is grown in large quantities in Nigeria. They are found durable in alkaline environment and dimensionally stable under alternate wetting and drying condition. What do you understand by wetting and drying condition, students? Wetting and drying condition.
Climate change.
Yes. How do you test? Do you have any test for this? Correct. Your climate changes, whether there is a summer, there's a winter session, where summer session. Do you have a test for this? Yes, you do have the test for this. Freezing and thawing. Freezing and thawing. I'll tell you. Freezing and thawing. Thawing test. By, you can Google now itself. You can see ASTM. Freezing and thawing. You take, for example, I'm talking about your concrete block only. Okay, students, you understand concrete blocks very well. Right? Block concrete only. You freeze it. You have to freeze this at 100 and, if I'm correct, you have to freeze it at 5 degree. If I don't remember exactly, 5 degree is the freezing temperature. -5. It is not +5. And thawing, you'll be thawing at 70 degree. You can Google search and see the temperature. It will be 70 degree. What happens during the process? Every time when you are freezing and thawing, you have to measure the weight. You are following, students? Am I boring you? WEIGHT. Weight has to be checked. Before I'm freezing the block, I have to check the weight. Okay. Then if I'm thawing the same block, again I have to check the weight, W2. Okay. Now I should check the difference, W1 minus W2 divided by W1. Loss in the block weight. Okay. The loss. What is the percentage of loss you may get? 0.0003. 3% of loss you may get. So this is nothing but wetting and drying. That means freezing and thawing. One more test you may ask, ma'am, the wetting and drying only will leave freezing and thawing. You have one more thing, like you can immerse in water for 24 hours. In 24 hours, immerse in water, the same block. Before putting in, you have to measure the weight of the block. You have to measure the block W2 from taking out from water, right? First was W1, second was W2. The same W2 blocks are kept in oven. At 110 degrees Celsius. At 110 degrees Celsius, you will be placing these blocks, right? So this W2 will go here into this, and this will become as W3. The temperature difference, or sorry, the weight difference. First it was W1. So W1 minus W3 divided by W1 will give me the difference in loss of weight. 0.0003 percentage of loss it may take place. So that is called as wetting and drying. Do you understand, students, what I am telling you? Do you understand? Wetting and drying process. Yes. So that is a process which is being carried out. Similarly, bamboo fibers are not very good, not a good material, because it's adverse in nature. Because of lot of water it will be absorbing. It is absorbing lot of water, especially during curing stage. Okay, I'll finish this and I'll end the class. And fibers extracted from coconut or coir are short in length and found to be sensitive to moisture change. Scissor fibers you may find, which are having from some fibers which have been obtained from the plants. They are having good. They're good but not durable in alkaline environment. Elephant grass fibers, which are also good but having difficulty under moisture condition, but having a alkaline resistant. Wood fibers, which is having a very good naturally available fibers, but they have the moisture absorbing problem. So these are the problems which we come across with the natural fibers, which is not allowing us to use the natural fibers as it is. So we are going for some other new materials, that is polymeric materials, fiber materials, metallic fibers. Okay, students. So this is all the today's discussion in the class. So I hope you were all alert in the class. Am I correct, students? Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Only
ma'am.
Balachandar, Adityan.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. Very good answer. Okay, I'll take the attendance now.